Real estate syndications have become a real popular way to invest in real estate over the last 10 years or so. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what I consider to be the #1 success factor for passive investors, and that's picking a great sponsorship team. I've discussed the importance of this many times on my channel because identifying the right team is critical to your success. My name's Dan. I'm an active real estate investor who's also been a passive investor in the past, so I have experience on both sides of this topic. So if you're unsure what a real estate syndication is, just click down below in the description for a link to a video that I created. I'll also be calling the people that lead these investments sponsors, but you probably have heard other terms like general partners or even syndicators. They all mean about the same thing. Now, I've used before the analogy of horse racing when it comes to investing in commercial real estate. It's the age-old question, is the horse, which stands for the property, more important, or is it the jockey who is the sponsor? Well, I believe that the jockey or the sponsor is really the most important decision you have to make. Why? Because a poor jockey can turn a great horse into a loser, and a great jockey knows how to pick a great horse and maximize their potential. That's why I'm going to dedicate this video and the next video on what you can do to identify a good sponsor, which will in turn give you the best chance to maximize your investment. This is why this channel exists, to help immigrants avoid issues, maximize their returns, and hopefully have them avoid getting taken advantage of. So in this video, part 1, I'm going to be talking about the characteristics of a good team that you can work with. And then in part 2, I'll be talking about the activities and the kinds of things that they do so you're aware of them, and some questions you can ask as well to help identify a good sponsor. Now let's get going. I believe that as a passive investor, you have one decision to make, and that is who is it you're going to invest with. You'll be giving them a substantial amount of money, and they're going to hold it for, say, 4 to 6 years. So it's important for you to take some time to really understand who would be the best sponsor to work with. No, I do not recommend that a new passive investor go out and look for deals first. Why? Because once you identify a team that is very capable and can do a good job, they'll bring deals to you. It's not quite automatic, but that's really how it works. And you can be confident that the deals that they're bringing are probably going to be pretty good deals. They have the knowledge and experience to be able to identify an investment opportunity that can be a good one. And if they feel confident about it, that's a good sign. There are still questions that you're going to have to ask to make sure that opportunity is right for you, but it's a good start. Now, I keep mentioning the word team because great teams are what make this work. If it's just one sponsor doing everything, then I would be very careful in getting involved. Now, I am talking about larger syndications here that involve many millions of dollars, but perhaps with small deals, maybe it's possible, but really teams are what make this work. Now let's talk about the roles that the team plays, because that's good to know. So sponsorship teams can have any number of people in all sorts of different ways that they split up the work. In this example, perhaps there's a 2-person team. One is the operator, who's the expert at running the property, and then there could be a capital raiser or investor relations person that's responsible for working with investors. And then, you could have a team with 3 people, where there's an operator, a capital raiser or investor relations, and then an asset manager. There's somebody that'll kind of run the property after it's been acquired. Or there's even teams where they have somebody that finds the deals, someone that's a capital raiser or investor relations, and then the asset manager. But there's also a key principle, let's say, because to buy commercial real estate and get a commercial loan, you need to have somebody with a high enough net worth that can fill that role. So a good team is going to split up the roles based on what they're good at. And that's what you want to see. You want to see a team that has players that specialize in different areas that'll hopefully maximize the ability for this to be a good investment. Beyond the roles, I would also look into how long this team has been working together. If this is their very first deal working together, I wouldn't necessarily disqualify them for this, but it's better that they have at least a few deals that they've done as a group together. Now, it is quite common that sponsors team up individually to form teams for specific deals, but if I had my preference, I'd probably pick a team that's been together for a while. Now let's talk about experience, because this is a huge one. The more experience the sponsorship team has, the more likely you'll have a better outcome, period. Now, the sponsorship team should have at least one very experienced member on the team that has done a few full cycle deals. A full cycle deal means that they've been part of acquiring a property, renovating it, let's say, managing it for a number of years, and then selling it with a good return to investors. That's a full cycle. To have a few under one's belt could take, 6 years or longer. So that's not an easy feat. And if they've done so, they're committed and they're diligent, and hopefully they had good returns. Because it's a team effort, it's okay if one of the sponsors is perhaps new to the space, as long as there's somebody very experienced leading the way. If the lead sponsor hasn't had any full cycle deals, then I would be very cautious in investing with them. Everyone needs to start somewhere, but I personally wouldn't want them learning with my money. Now, you can certainly invest with a team that is perhaps less experienced, but just know your risk is going to go up. A great question to ask is about any failures they've had and what they've learned from them. Admitting to making a mistake early in their investment career is okay and actually a good thing. Why? Because you want to invest with somebody that can reflect on what they've done in the past, identify mistakes, and learn from them. If they say, I've never really made any mistakes, or they didn't seem to learn very much from what they did go through, then I'd be very cautious. The last thing you want is to invest with somebody who thinks they know everything, because believe me, they don't. Also, if they seem to blame others and not take responsibility for their part in a mistake, then I would also be careful as well. But hearing how they got through a tough situation and how they came out on the other side and hopefully help the investors along the way will tell you a lot about that sponsor. Hey, real quick, are you enjoying this video? Please click the like button so YouTube knows that people are finding value in this video, and we'll share it with other immigrants. Now back to the video. The last aspect of the sponsorship team, and probably one of the most difficult ones to quantify, is a team's character. Do they have good character, solid values, and will they make decisions that benefit their investors over themselves? One way to start this process is to have a conversation with the sponsors and get to know them a little bit. What's your gut feeling? Do you feel that they are trustworthy, they're open, they're honest, or perhaps you feel like something isn't quite right? Now, I wouldn't base this all just on gut feel, but if initially you're not getting a good feeling about it, I would just move on. Another step I would take is that I recommend doing some online research on these individuals. Now, they all may be part of the same company or firm, or they may be different firms, but check them out on Google, look for them, find them on Facebook or LinkedIn, find out whatever you can, see their posts and see how they comment, just to get a sense of the kind of people that they are. Now, a dishonest sponsor is not going to tell you that they're dishonest, but there's probably some clues out there on the internet that you can find that you can pick up on. I also encourage you to tell the sponsors when you talk to them that you'd like to do a background check and actually go through with it, because you're entrusting them with your money for many years. They shouldn't have any concerns with you doing so, and if they do have concerns, that's a big red flag. I also suggest asking for references of investors that have invested with them, preferably that have gone full cycle with them. Have a short conversation with each reference. Why did they invest with them? What's been their experience? Would they do it again in the future? Just get to know a little bit more about that sponsor through the eyes of the investor. Researching and identifying the character of the sponsorship team isn't easy, but it's worth the effort. Now, most sponsors that I've met are good people, but you don't want to be investing with the one that's not. So doing this work is going to help you. And in my opinion, the goal here is for you to find a team that you can connect with and you can potentially work with for multiple deals over time. you're going to be investing a lot of money with them over many years. So these kinds of checks, I think, are very worthwhile. So now I've spoken about the characteristics of a team, and that's their team makeup, the roles that they play, the experience they have, the failures they might have had, and also their character. So in part 2 of this series, I talk about the activities that a good sponsor needs to be doing and communication that they need to be having with you. So if you want to check out that video, just click right here. Thank you for watching the Immigrant Wealth channel.